Nice to see you nice. It's beginning, do you know something? It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas. I mean, everywhere I go, but in Albuquerque, you should look out the window, it's gorgeous right now. Sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Oh, it's tough in Albuquerque, you know. Anyway, we're going to go to a very, very sunny place today. We're off to Macau. And in fairness, Macau isn't really a country. Nowadays it's called a special administrative region of China. But for hundreds of years it was a colony of Portugal. And what we're going to make today is very Portuguese. And in fact, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to sound like I'm a tiny bit of a show-off, but I have been to other Portuguese colonies, including Malacca, and I've had this in Malacca too, and you, of course, in Portugal you can have it too, but they are called Pasties de Nata, and a rough translation is it's a little custard tart. Who doesn't like a custard tart? And it's a custard tart, not with a regular pastry, but with a puff pastry. So I'm cheating, and I'm going to use some ready-made puff. And so maybe it won't taste absolutely the way it should, but it's going to taste pretty good. Obviously with puff, we've done puff before. And as you know, I always put it into this little storage bag for authenticity's sake. Now it's come straight out of a box. But it's important to keep your puff cool. You don't want to. So I'm going to do this straight onto my my marble or faux marble top here, and to keep it nice and cool. I'll put a light dusting, and but you don't want to overwork it, and the warmth from your hands that messes up your butter, something rotten. So you've got to try and work quite quickly. This puff is, you want it to be about 1/4 of an inch thick. Fortunately, the way I've prepared it is about 1/4 of an inch thick. So I am going to cut out my little, the shells of my my tarts using a little roundy thing, which from previous experience I know fits into these little shells. And now we've got our 12 little shell cutouts, and then really what I'm going to do here is I'll do one, and then maybe you can come back in a minute. But what is important with this is that you press it in nice and firmly into your pie shell, and make sure that the edge rises up, because you don't want any overflowing custard. Anyway, I'm going to show you one here, and then I'm going to do it for all the others. But as I say, as soon as they're done, I want to keep them nice and cool, so I'll slap them in the fridge. So give me a little while, and I'll be back in a tickle. Okay, so I'm back, and here are the shells. I'm going to get them in the fridge nice and quickly, because as I say, I want to keep that butter nice and cold, keeps it nice and flaky. But there are the shells. Here we go. The custard is really any old custard, but for this one, the measures are as follows. In this juggie, I have got a 1.5 cups of milk and a 1/4 cup of whipping cream, and that goes in to the pot. Then I've got 1/2 cup of sugar. In you go, you naughty thing. I am also going to put 1/4 cup of corn flour. I might be being a bit brave here. I should probably have heated it up a little bit, but I'll whisk it out. I'm going to put in a teaspoon and a half of me really nice vanilla from Madagascar, which is apparently where it all comes from. I'd say that was a bit more for luck. Oh, that was a bit more than a bit more for luck. And then I'm going to put a couple of egg yolks. So that's everything. Now I've got me whisk, and we'll turn this on. Important thing with your custard is don't heat it too quickly. Don't heat it too quickly. Lots and lots of love and stirring. Obviously you want to melt the, dissolve the sugar. And as I say, don't be tempted to cook it too quickly, otherwise, you know, it turns into a sort of scrambly, a very sweet scrambly egg with a hint of vanilla. So, again, I am going to give this some love for probably 10 or 15 minutes to heat it up. So, look at that. Ooh, look at that gorgeous thick custard. I think that's almost perfect, so I'm going to turn it off, and you can see it's starting to smoke. Not smoke, steam, and I think that is a pretty luxurious, a pretty divine custard. Now, after all that heating, we've got to do some cooling, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to slop. I've been talking about the pastry and, you know, not getting it too warm, and so you don't want to put your hot custard onto your cool path, because it will make it soggy as all get up and ultimately destroy what makes these little puppies so divine. And I have a very modest supply of saran wrap here. I just thought 3,000 square feet would keep me going for, well, a week or so. So anyway, here we go. Get a bit of that. And when you put it on top, it's going to be a bit hot. So careful, Tim. And then once that is on top, do you know how sometimes you surprise yourself? You think you're going to make a right royal cock up of it, and actually, I think that deserves to be on a cooking show. There you go. So, get that in the fridge until it is nice and cool, and I'll come back when it's chilly. I'm going to take out the custard, which is definitely nice and cold, and then I'm also going to take out our tart shells. Now, mesdames, messieurs, it's important to work fast, because we don't want any sogginess on our puffy. So here we go. That's beautifully cold, and look at that. No, whatchamacallit? Skin? Well, I'm losing my ability to, skin on the custard, and I'm just going to plop it in. I think that might be a bit too much. I'm working fast because I want to get this into the oven. Now the oven is at quite a hot temperature. In fact, it's a very hot temperature, 475, and these will cook probably for, particularly as we're a little bit higher here in Albuquerque, they'll probably cook for 30 minutes, but I would recommend, naughties, that after 20 you keep a close eye on them, because you don't want them to burn. So Macau is, they call it the Las Vegas of Asia. It's got a big, and in fact, believe it or not, it actually turns over more money than the American Las Vegas. It is all the big Chinese gamblers come and dollop insane amounts of money in there. The thing, it's got a very, very long history with Portuguese colonialism, and probably the most famous landmark is St Paul's, which is a big church in the centre of Macau. Completely, it's just the edifice really, and there are I think some catacombs and that kind of thing, but so insanely evocative. You really feel like you're in a little bit of Europe in Southeast Asia. Okay, that's enough banter from me. There's my little tarties. And Tim the Tart is going to put the tarts in the tart heater. As I say, 475. Oh, that shouldn't be in there. Oh, take that out. That's one of my relatives. I'm not going to shame them. It wasn't me. Okay, so I'll put them in for 30. But as I say, I'll keep an eye on them. They might come out a bit earlier. Yeah, those, I think, if I leave them much longer, they're going to start looking like they're going to be burnt rather than browned. Ooh. Look at those little puppies. Not bad, hey. I mean, the interesting thing is how much you might remember. I said make sure that the puff is nice and high, but the custard's really risen up a lot, and I'm guessing that's partly to do with the puff action. It's sort of squeezed the area out. But there they are, the Pasties de Nata from Macau. And I am going to try one. Okay, let's see if we can fish this little naughty out without screaming. Okay, there it is. Ah! Oh! Ah! 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 Oh, my little custard tart! I loved you! Death by custard tart. But look, you can see now why inside. I'm going to turn this into a teachable moment. Why the custard did its why it puffed up so much. I'm going to plop it on top. See, nobody knows the difference, hey? Look, it's just perfect. Look, it's pretty brown. I think I might have slightly overcooked it. The bottom looks like it's almost getting overcooked, but it definitely feels gorgeously crispy. And hopefully that intended flopping out of the custard onto the counter will help cool it so I can eat it. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. I'm on my knees, I don't know why. I guess we'll try it. Well, the puff is great because I made it myself. Custard is excellent. I mean, it's still divine. I'm going to have another bite. Now, I personally think it'll be nicer once it's cooled. But that's not to say that it isn't divine hot. I think I say this for every dessert. It'd be lovely with a cup of tea. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of Macau. Pasties de Nata, otherwise known as a custard tart. Really worth your effort, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you'll give it a go. And look, check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and check out the blog. You'll get all the details once I've finished rambling on. But lovely to see you, and have a lovely holiday season, naughties. Take care. Custard tarts ahoy.